Time for Husker Chat. I am Jayson Jorgensen. It is brought to you by Acres Equipment. As always, we're joined by Sean Callahan of Husker Online to talk Husker football. Nebraska opened up 1-0 with a tight but nice win over Cincinnati last week in Kansas City. Sean, it wasn't the first time you've been to Arrowhead Stadium to watch the Huskers, but what was it like on Thursday?
Yeah, I was there in 06, and it was a lot colder.
Yeah.
I didn't make the 98 game. I was a senior in high school for that game, but the 06 game was a magical deal, and this was too. And I think everybody kind of forgot just what kind of impact Nebraska fans have had in those markets over the years. It had been 15 plus years since Nebraska had played a true game like that, and that kind of the Kansas City area or that part of the country, and have an opener with great weather, a Thursday night stage, the open tailgating lot. It was just such a great scene for everybody that went, other than the traffic coming in. But that's to be expected when you have 70,000 Nebraska fans driving on the same 2-lane road and there's a couple 1-lane closures. It's going to create some problems, but I think safe bet is Nebraska will be back down there again. Who knows, 2 years from now, 4 years from now, we might see Nebraska play another game in Kansas City.
That'll be very, very cool. The game itself, the Huskers had the lead, then it got tight. They found a way to hold on to win that thing. There's been some time now since the game, and now what's your biggest takeaway from it?
Yeah, I thought for the offense, they did some good things, but the lack of explosive plays was kind of an issue. I think you would have liked to have seen Nebraska make it look easier. Instead, they made it look kind of hard. I mean, there were 18 third down plays in the game. There weren't really any plays of 20-plus yards. Everything in the passing game was short by nature because of how Cincinnati was defending Nebraska. They were playing a 3-high shell, and they were even dropping their corners back. So a lot of times they'd have 5 guys deep. They were not going to let the deep game of Dylan Raiola beat them. So Nebraska needed to be probably better, honestly, Jayson, pounding the run because the numbers in the box. I mean, Cincinnati was playing with 5 or 6 men in the box, and that's where a good run team just comes in and pounds it at them. And that they were doing that, but not to the point where they are breaking the runs. And give Cincinnati credit. I thought their back end, their linebackers, their safeties tackled really, really well. Now, defensively for Nebraska, Jayson, I think the biggest question was the interior defensive line. Nebraska just lost a lot. We knew it was going to be big to replace Nash and Ty. And it showed right away that, hey, it's going to be some growing pains replacing that interior defensive line. And even the edge players, talented, but young. And they showed how young they were at times throughout that game with maybe just some containment issues on the edge. And Sorsby gave them some problems. But that's all Cincinnati could do. As you heard John Butler say yesterday, they couldn't throw on us. They really weren't doing a lot running it. It was just quarterback run plays. And it was kind of a desperation move by Cincinnati in the second half to try to get something going.
How about the secondary? I saw the grade they had for that game is one of the highest ones in a while.
Yeah, the coverage grade was outstanding. Andrew Marshall, Sia Wright, 2 lockdown corners, and 2 guys that are probably pros. And then Deshaun Singleton at safety, Rover, is a pro. He's a physical tackler. And I thought Marquise Buford and Malcolm Hartstog played a lot better on the back end than Donovan Jones. I think there were 6 of those players in the secondary that really showed out. And that looks to be one of the strengths, if not the strength, of this football team right now.
Could you see maybe moving forward that they maybe dare people to run against them? A lot of people don't want to play football like that anymore.
Yeah. The problem is you're going to see Michigan, you're going to see Michigan State, you're going to see these teams in the Big Ten that they're going to be better running teams. Iowa, obviously late in the year. But I think the matchup of Sorsby this week, the quarterback for Cincinnati, was so unique. He was 235 pounds and he ran really well. He was, more athletic, when you're comparing like a Heinrich Harburg when he played quarterback. He created more problems as a runner than what we've seen some Nebraska guys have done over the years. So I do think that was unique, and hopefully you don't see that type of physically built athlete very often again this year, because I think his style as a runner is going to give everybody problems.
All right, how about this week against Akron? They have not been very good. Their offense really struggled in week 1, but they did keep it competitive with Wyoming. I think that was a 10-0 game. What are the Huskers and what are fans going to see from the Zips?
Well, Akron comes into this game, as one of the only teams in college football history to get placed on a bowl ban for APR. Their academic progress rate over 2 years was so low that they're not eligible for postseason conference title games. So their program is already in a rough spot. So this game is like a bowl game, but they were shut out by Wyoming, and Wyoming is a lower tier Mountain West team right now. So you would like to think this is a game where Nebraska can do a lot, but they need big explosive plays. I mean, you'd like to see Nebraska push 50 points in this game, which is not easy to do. We haven't seen a lot of 50-point Saturdays at Memorial Stadium in a while, but you would think that they could do it depending on how the flow of the game goes. But you hopefully can get a lot of players in this game too. I mean, a year ago against UTEP, Matt Rule played over 100 players. I think it was 108 guys played in the game. So hopefully, again, this week you can play almost your entire available roster of close to 100 players.
Let's just hope the game happens. Of course, it was supposed to in 2018. We all know how that turned out.
Yeah, that this is almost I believe it's a makeup game for 2018. But never forget that Saturday. It was one of the more lightning-filled days that we've ever seen in the state of Nebraska. I mean, it was literally lightning bolts. I mean, they couldn't have played that game if they tried until like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's how long the lightning was. So hopefully we never see that again because it was kind of once in 100-year type Saturday.
And just the chaos of it. I was there at the stadium and nobody knew what was going on and if they might try to play it and if they wouldn't, if they come back in the morning. That was just bizarre.
Yeah, human nature is you always are going to play the game. Like you just never think that they're going to cancel something this big, and they did. And then Akron got on the plane and got the hell out of there. Got part of their money. But yeah, that was one of those ones that nobody was prepared for that Saturday, and kind of what that Saturday brought in 2018.
Probably some lessons there for some folks from that one on if you get into that situation, what you do with it.
We'll play the game earlier. That's probably the only thing that could have been done, but Fox wanted the game at night. Still, though, I think Nebraska, if they would have known what they know, that game's going to be played at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, and tape delayed on Fox. I mean, I don't think a lot of people were going to care if it was live or tape delayed, Nebraska versus Akron in 2018. Versus not having a game at all. And then they had to make that game up with Bethune-Cookman later in the year.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't go down that road again.
No, sir.
Sean, as always, we appreciate your time, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, Jayson. Thank you.
And that was Sean Callahan, the publisher of Husker Online, joining us. We are here throughout the week. It's brought to you by Akers Equipment. That will do it for Husker Chat. I'm Jayson Jorgensen.